can you write the same retelling twice? For example, 2 Cinderellas, 2 versions of Sleeping Beauty, or Snow White, or Goldilocks, or Little Miss Muffet. And the answer is, heck yeah, you can. You can do whatever you want. As the Book Talk proclaimed queen of retellings, because I've written so many of them, I can, with full authority, tell you, you can write more than one version of a story that you love if you have unique twists on them. But I will say you should not do them right after each other. So a Cinderella story and then another Cinderella story. You should space them out, and not just by books. You guys know I write a ton of retellings, but I don't just write retellings. I write other stories too. So when I'm writing things, if it's going to be the same story but a different twist to it, I do not do a Cinderella retelling and then a dystopian and then a Cinderella retelling. I am doing multiple other types of retellings in between. So if I wanted to do a new Goldilocks, which I might be, I make sure I have several other retellings between that one and my second version of that. So I am getting to the point where I've got so many ideas and so many different ways that I can twist up so many different stories, the popular ones like Cinderella and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, and the ones that are a little bit less conventional like Goldilocks and Little Miss Muffet and Goose Girl and some of the ones that people don't know about as much. And you can do as many versions as you want, but you gotta space them out a little bit. But you need to have very unique twists on it. So I wrote an assassin Cinderella story. I have another Cinderella story that, surprise, is coming out soon. And if you are a member of my YouTube channel, you actually got that information on some things that I'm doing in my career right now that I'm not telling anybody but my members. So sign up, go join, do all the things, and you will know what's coming up. But I am going to be releasing a new Cinderella story. It is not an assassin. It is wildly different, a very drastically different situation. I am going to be doing duplicates of some of the ones that I've already done, and they're going to be wildly and radically different than the first versions that I told. So if you are going to be doing retellings, you can't have small differences between this Cinderella and the next Cinderella you're doing. You have to make them very, very, very wildly different so that there's no possibility for confusion or crossover in readers' minds. You want to be so significantly different, and it should be as different as you would be from any other author. So if you know other people have written Cinderella stories, don't do the same topic. I wrote a Cinderella assassin story, and after I did mine, several other people came up with the same idea. It was independent. They didn't know about my book. They didn't do their research. They didn't know mine existed in the world, and they wrote their own versions, and they were radically different than mine. So even though if we have the same overarching things, it has to be very different. You're not going to say, oh, well, I see that this did really well for this, or this author did this cool thing. I could put a spin on that too. You want to get very far away from what other people have done so that it's creative, it's unique, and it's not going to get muddled in readers' minds. Well, what happened in this one and what happened in this one? It's a lot. It's a lot when things are close. So keep it very, very separate. Cinderella as an assassin, Cinderella as something very, very different in my other one, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait to tell you about. I have been sitting on that book for like a year and a half. It's just been sitting here waiting for me to put it out for you guys. And I haven't done it yet because I had some things pop up in my life, but it's coming out and the cover is divine. The cover actually came before the story did. And I cannot wait to share it with you. So if you are going to be writing retellings, and if you have multiple ideas for some of these different stories, by all means write them, but space them out and make sure they are very, very, very different from the other version that you have written and from what other people have written as well. So let me know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite stories to be retold? I am talking things that are popular like Cinderella and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. I am talking about things that are not popular at all like Goldilocks and Little Miss Muffet. I'm talking about things maybe some of us haven't heard of. I hadn't heard of the Goose Girl before I wrote the Goose Girl retelling, the Goose Girl and the Artificial. And so there are options. Let me know what you want to see more of in this industry and what you want some big twists on, be it those very common ones or the uncommon ones down below, and follow along for more. And if you are writing retellings, don't forget I have a full free workshop, Mastermind. It's a mastermind here on the channel for you. You can actually go through and watch a 4-part masterclass series on writing retellings to make sure you're doing them profitably and effectively for you. But I'm also starting to kind of toss some of my other videos on retellings into that playlist so you can get even more in-depth information on how to do this for you. Drop your questions down below and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most fun author year ever, but also most profitable author year. We'll see you in tomorrow's episode.